let me stick it on the flash drive real quick, and we'll do it that way. That'd be perfect. You know what? I didn't bring my flash drive in, so that's not gonna work.
Okay. We can plug it in here.
Extension cord for that.
You wanna, that might be long enough to reach the plug.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
We do have a power strip here.
Yeah, I saw that. Let's see, what this does first. Okay, we'll go over, yep. Okay. There we go.
Excuse me, projector went on Fritz.
Oh,
So,
of course. And then all this happened. Bill. Well, you just had it all.
yes, we do.
That's live.
Hello? Okay. You all can hear me? Awesome.
We have a YouTube channel that we live stream.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, just let me get it on and we can do that.
You'll take care of that.
Okay. And thank you all again, for being patient while I got here. I really did try.
I'm sure you did. It's supposed to-
And this is so beautiful. I've never been up here. You have a very beautiful place. I'm just trying to log into my computer. And if I can do two things at one time, I'll try to introduce myself, but I'll wait just a
I
minute.
have a microphone here so I can start things off while you're doing that.
Okay. All right.
We do have an internet connection if you need that.
Well, I actually need to get into my, okay. What is is it TC Guest?
Yes.
Okay, great. Perfect. And it doesn't have a password?
Right.
Perfect. Okay. You all are something. Now, I just need to get into one more thing, which is I need that bag that's over there, that black and white bag. Sorry. I'm trying to get into my server, which is all the way back down in Muncie, and to do that, I have to say yes on my phone.
You need your phone?
Yeah, is it over there? You all think I must be how in the world did I get to be the CEO of an organization this unorganized? I am so sorry, I usually am not this way.
We understand. This morning hasn't gone well for you, and we've had a few issues here also, so
Okay, well,
we make the best of it.
yes. And I know you sent me the beautiful directions, and unfortunately, I didn't have them with me, and I was befuddled at that point. So,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
all right, hang on a second. Let me go in here and say, yes, it's me, and yes, you can approve it. Oh, goodness. I tell you what. Technology is wonderful when it works, and frustrating when it doesn't. Oh, goodness. Okay, one more. Okay. Come here. Okay, here we go. All right, come on. I know you can do it. Connect. I know you can do it. Okay, it's connected. Whew, yes. Okay. Now just let me find my PowerPoint and I'm going to be set. Wabash, there I am. Come on. Okay, it's going to take a little bit to load, but it will come on. So I think you can start. I don't know where to put this. I think I'll just lay it here.
Okay.
Oh, I know. I could put it in my pants. That's what I'll do. Excuse me. Don't look. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm good now.
Are you filming all this, Dean?
Oh, great. Thanks.
Well, thank you for being patient. Gary Heisler is my name, and I invited Rebecca to come and talk to us this morning about Second Harvest Food Bank, because we wanted to have, our group, Seniors for Peace, wanted to have a presentation on food insecurity. And so she's going to be an expert for us, and I appreciate your patience. I know some of you were getting your steps in while we were waiting, so that was good use of the time. This is Rebecca Clawson. I don't really have biographical.
It's okay.
So you're on your own.
I'll take care of that.
Okay, thank you. Rebecca Clawson, let's welcome her.
Thank you. And again, thank you for your patience. I'll tell you a little bit about me first, and then we'll go from there. So I actually came to Indiana. You're going to hear some southern East Coast because I grew up in North Carolina. So you'll start hearing that pretty soon. When I talk fast, they tell me it really comes out. So the southern girl in me will come out. So I spent 20 years of my career in church work. I have my undergraduate degree and my graduate degree in music. And so I made a big switch about halfway through my career. And here's the story that made the switch. I think it's kind of interesting. I like to tell it when I can. So I was serving in a church as a music minister, and I was in Roanoke, Virginia. And we had a food pantry. And the food pantry was in the basement of the church. You know, that's often where things are. But that particular basement room had a door that came in from the outside. So it was a pretty good location for a food pantry. And the church secretary said, well, usually the custodian or one of the other ministers will go when somebody needs help, but there's nobody here but you and me, and I've got to stay at my desk, so it looks like it's you. Well, I'd never done it before. I didn't know what to do, and I'd never even been to the food pantry before. I knew where it was. That was a good thing. So I went downstairs. There was a young lady there. She looked scared. She looked frail, and she looked about the way I was when I came in here, a little bit frazzled. And so I said to her, I've not done this before. She said, I haven't either. I said, okay, we're going to figure it out together, aren't we? So she explained her situation. She had left a domestic abuse situation with her young daughter. And she had found an agency that would put her up in an apartment, but she hadn't found a job yet. She was trying to keep her child in school, and they needed food. So I said, well, let's see what we can find. I said, I am happy for you to take anything here that you can use. So we just went and looked on the shelves together. Unfortunately, there wasn't much on the shelves. Certainly not much that a young mother with a young daughter could use. But we did find a few things that we thought would be helpful. And there was maybe one frozen, package of hamburger in the freezer. That was about it. And we didn't have any refrigeration. So she said to me, I was really hoping you would have milk. You do have cereal, and that would be perfect for my daughter for breakfast. And I said, we just don't even have refrigeration. And so she reached in her pocket, and she pulled out this big bunch of change. And she said to me, do you have any idea how much a gallon of milk costs? And I knew in that particular moment that in my white privilege, I had no idea. Because I go to the grocery store and I take the cart and I put the milk in there and I don't pay attention to how much it costs. And I just take it home. And I was shamed. I felt sad. And so I said to her, my dear, I want you to follow me. Get in your car and follow me. We went a mile to the grocery store. I took the church credit card. I said, you get what you need, honey. And we're going to put it all in here. At that moment was a pivotal moment for me. I knew that although I had enjoyed my church work, working with folks that wanted to go out and make a difference, I needed to be a little closer to the action. I wanted to be doing something that was more hands-on. So I immediately started making arrangements to change my career. And I started talking to someone who could help me with, not necessarily a psychologist or anything like that, but somebody that could help me with my career path. She was a career advisor, and she helped me probably in my early 40s to try to make a career change. Well, I also knew I didn't want to go to school again. I had been in school long enough, and I decided that I could figure out a way to learn how to do nonprofit without going back and getting another degree. So I went back to where I'd gone to graduate school, Louisville, Kentucky, and I started trying to get a job in just about every nonprofit in every area possible. It's one of the highest per capita with nonprofits in the nation. So I thought, well, there's enough nonprofits here, surely I can find jobs. So I did. And I started doing things like director of Meals on Wheels. I became a program director for a food pantry. I started doing fundraising and development. Those are 3 different jobs I had. And through another several, I finally got a job as an executive director in South Carolina. So I moved all the way from Louisville back towards my roots a little bit to Lancaster, South Carolina. I was actually living in Charlotte, North Carolina, and driving south an hour. And in doing that, I was serving at a large agency that was helping do a lot of things. We helped folks with rent and utilities and food, and we also helped people with poverty alleviation programs. One of our programs was called Bounce Back. Another one was called Getting Ahead in a Just Getting By World. So I felt like I was getting a really rounded education, but I was also running the show. So I also had to learn a lot and pretend I knew a lot. So I did for 6 years. And soon after that, there was a large nationwide search for a food bank CEO in Indiana. I never thought about Indiana, never thought I might want to come here. Had one job in me before retirement. I said, okay, why not? So I interviewed, and here I am. So 4 years later, I'm still here. First time I've been up here. This is a beautiful location. I understand why you all live up here. Let me tell you about Second Harvest now. Second Harvest Food Bank, that's our little tagline. Help for today, hope for tomorrow. Here's a little stuff about it. We're not alone in this world, which makes me happy. We're part of 2 networks. One is Feeding America. There are 200 food banks in the United States that feed every county in both the continental United States, Alaska, Hawaii, and Puerto Rico. So we're part of that network. I go to those conferences all the time. I'm on a national committee. It's a great resource for us. There on the left is our Indiana network, and our Indiana network is amazing. It has 11 food banks, 3 of which are actually not located directly in Indiana, but in other states that border Indiana and serve some of our counties. I bet you can see your county up there. Maybe not, but I'll show it to you larger later. And those are the 11 food banks. We all serve on a board of our association in Indiana, which is located in Indianapolis, and down there is the logo, Feeding Indiana's Hungry. So we have a lot of resources. We have a lot of structure and infrastructure outside of our food bank that really helps us function. This is our mission. Every food bank, however, is its own entity, and we all have our own separate 501c3. We all have our own separate mission statements. We all serve our areas the way that the need presents itself. Our mission is to provide help for today by feeding the hungry and hope for tomorrow by addressing the causes of food insecurity while empowering people towards self-sufficiency. Our vision is to see people in East Central Indiana free from hunger and self-sufficient. And here are some of our values: dignity and compassion for all, striving for excellence in every effort and interaction, devotion to community and belief in human potential, responsible governance and fiscal stewardship, and relationship focused. We also have some very important beliefs. When we're looking for partners, and we have lots of partner agencies and partners that we work with in our different initiatives. We seek partners who share our values and mission. We can put a dent in poverty in all its forms. We must address the root causes of food insecurity. Not every food bank feels that way, but we do. We will empower people toward long-term stability. Donor and volunteer engagement must be intentional and meaningful. We must advocate for those with no voice. And to change our communities, we must be open to change. And here's our purpose. As we embrace our organizational purpose, the reason we exist, we direct all of our energy, our resources, and expertise in 2 core focus areas. And again, the way that we remember our mission statement the best is our little tagline: help for today and hope for tomorrow. Provide help for today by feeding neighbors and meeting their immediate needs, and hope for tomorrow by addressing the root causes of resource insecurity. A lot of people ask us, how do we get resources, and then how are they distributed out? Story. About 45 to 47 years ago, there was a man named John Van Hingel, and John decided that instead of all these places who had extra food sort of contributing it to all these different places like churches and community centers, what if there was a central location in every community that resources could be located in? And if that were to happen, then maybe we could put them all together and then distribute them out to places and locations and programs that needed them, and in the ways that they needed them and the kinds of things they needed. So we get food resources from retail stores, distribution centers, manufacturers, farmers and hunters, and food drive donations. Thus, most of the 200 food banks are anywhere from 40 years to 48 years old. We celebrated our 40th anniversary in 2023, so I guess we're 42 this year. So that's kind of cool to know. All right, now let's talk about food insecurity in East Central Indiana. First of all, I put in a few slides that just talks about what is food insecurity. You hear that word, it's one of those things you throw out, and not everybody knows exactly what it is. One of the things I like to throw out, other than what you see there, is the difference between hunger and food insecurity. I got up this morning and me and my kitty cat were hungry because it was breakfast time. She was poking at me to go get her breakfast, and I was poking at her to get out of my way so I could go get breakfast. The difference is we both knew that there was breakfast available to us in our kitchen, right? Food insecurity is I'm hungry and I have no idea where my food's coming from. Or there might be food in my refrigerator or in my home for 2 or 3 meals, but past that, it's going to be 2 or 3 days before I get paid. So I'm not sure where after that food is going to come from. That's the difference between hunger and food insecurity. So, food insecurity is a lack of consistent access to enough food for an active, healthy life. Uncertainty or anxiety about food availability due to financial or resource constraints. Food insecurity is also a disruption in eating patterns or reduced food intake caused by limited resources. I can't tell you how many moms and dads say, I do without so my children can eat. Ranges in severity from worrying about running out of food to skipping meals or going hungry. It can be chronic or temporary, depending on economic, social, or environmental factors. It affects individuals, families, communities, and it often disproportionately, that's one of those words that, every once in a while you have a word that you have to think about to pronounce, disproportionately impacting children, seniors, and marginalized groups. It's closely linked to poverty, unemployment, and systemic inequities in housing, healthcare, and education. I'll also say that recently, many folks who are seeking resources, seeking food, are employed. They're underemployed. Wages are not keeping up with what's going on in the community. So they can't buy the food because they can't afford it. So they look to us. There's measured by surveys and indicators such as the USDA's Household Food Security Scale, which unfortunately has gone away, and Feeding America's Map the Meal Gap. Okay. East Central Indiana, as of, and we're always 2 years behind in our estimates because it takes a while to get it. So this is a 2023 estimate. 75,970 people in East Central Indiana. Those are the 8 counties we serve there. 1 in 6 of the overall population. The one that really breaks my heart is 1 in 5 children. 1 in 3 black people, 1 in 3 Hispanic people, 1 in 7 white people, 1 in 12 seniors. Now, we address food and resource insecurity, Second Harvest does, in lots of different ways because one size does not fit all. It doesn't work. We have to find what works. And here are all the counties, and there are those lovely little dots that are all different colors with little things on them that show you what they are. And I'll tell you more about each of the programs in just a minute. But I just wanted you to see what it sort of looked like as a whole. We do this with 32 employees. That's it. And over 4,000 volunteers. I'm always impressed that we do this with 32 employees. Okay, these are our initiatives. We do mobile distributions. Most of you should be familiar with the mobiles that we do here with the big truck. We also have what's called a small community where we take a box truck out to a small community. We don't have any here in Wabash. And we also have a mobile market that we take out, and I'll tell you more about that in a minute too. We have agency partners, many of them, about 77 in the whole area. And that's everything from just a few shelves in a church food pantry to a standalone agency. They're all a little bit different. We have Senior Safety Net, although we don't have that in Wabash County. Our main partner for that is LifeStream Services, and you all don't have LifeStream up here in Wabash. Operation Full Pack is one of our newest programs for folks who are currently in the military or veterans, and we only have, I think, 8 or 10 of those in all of the counties, but they are very successful. And you remember I said help for today and then hope for tomorrow, right? So those first 4 initiatives are all help for today. They're immediate needs. It's all about food. It's all about getting food into homes and for people who need it. The big idea and forward steps are both hope for tomorrow initiatives. The big idea, which doesn't have a descriptive name at all except for I wonder what it is a school pantry. But it's much more than that. It is once a month resource fair in 47 schools in our 8-county area. We're very proud of this initiative, and it really works. It's sort of like a community engagement tool for families, for teachers, for administration, for community resources. So they have a fair where we bring the food. They put it out for a choice kind of option. So you get to shop through, quote unquote. It's all free, obviously, but you get to shop and take what will work for you and your family. In addition to that, you have parents who are actually looking to connect with teachers, and teachers looking to connect with parents. We have other resources from all kinds of different places that come and are also in that particular room to help with parents. And we also ask career presenters to come so that the students can learn what it might be like to be a nurse or to be a doctor or to be an EMS worker or to be a plumber or to be, to work on a roof. Many times the children only see what their parents do and what their teachers do. That's it. So the option to kind of have a big idea about what I might want to do and how I might get there. So that's part of our Hope for Tomorrow. I'll get it right. Hope for Tomorrow initiative. Forward Steps is also another one of those, but I have slides about that one, and I'll tell you more about that in a minute. Okay. Now, this is Wabash County. You all are very spread out, and there are 3 main locations. And so because of that, this is what, we have 3 of our initiatives here. We do have a Big Idea School. We have 4 mobile distributions because 2 of them are the large ones, and 2 of them are the mobile markets. And we also have 4 pantries. Somebody pronounce the name of that one at the bottom. Okay. Thank you. We had arguments about that. It looks like La Fontaine to me, but anyway. La Fountain. Got it. I didn't want to say it wrong. I figured you had to be from here to pronounce it that way. Okay. All right. And then this is our cool mobile market I was telling you about. And we have 2 locations here in Wabash. We try to have at least 2 locations in every county. We do now have 2 in Henry, so there is one in every county, 2 in every county. It looks exactly like that. In fact, when people come to get their food, that's what it looks like. It is so successful. We got it with a grant that is helping. The whole idea was to go to rural areas where folks have a hard time getting to a place, have transportation issues, and it has been so successful. And it can only feed about 100 families, but that represents 300 or more individuals in a household. So that's a pretty good little group of people in one visit. Our coordinator is right there to the far right. He's looking in our freezer, which we're able to roll out. So we have frozen food, we have refrigerated food, we have shelf-stable food, and again, it's a shopping experience. The other thing that both this and the Big Idea provide is dignity, and also just respect. Nobody should be disrespected because they're food insecure. Nobody should feel less than because they're food insecure. It is but the grace of God, go I. Okay, this is just related to our 77 agencies across 8 counties. So all of these next few statistics are for the cumulative amount, but last year across 8 counties, we provided over 3.4 million meals through those agency partners. Through all of our mobile distributions, 2.8 million meals, and we say meals because we can say we can buy 4 meals for $1. We don't prepare meals, but it's the Feeding America way to sort of delineate how much we do. So there's that. The Big Idea, now it says 44, but just since this slide, we've added 3 schools, so 47 schools. But in 2024, we had 44 schools, 907,000 plus meals. And it creates an opportunity to connect families with school staff and other resources. Operation Full Pack provides food to veterans, active service members, and their families, 8 sites. I do think it's gone up to 10 sites in 2025. Senior Safety Net, we have 23 sites. I believe we're at 25 this year, 291,000 plus meals. We also are a national diaper bank partner. And in some of our counties, we have a lot of child care centers and a lot of young parents who are finding it hard to afford the kind of diapers, the amount of diapers that they need. If you take your child to a child care center with a waiver, or even if you can afford to take your child to maybe a supplemented child care center, there's so many diapers that you are required to bring with your child. It also has to be a pack that isn't unopened. So they're finding it hard sometimes to come up with that amount of diapers to take with the child, and the child won't be accepted if the diapers aren't there. So we help out with that. Along with that, we help young women with period supplies. We provided over 268,000. We do it mostly through schools, through counselors. And here's Forward Steps that I was going to tell you about because I have some slides on it. Forward Steps is a program that has very little to do with food. It has the most to do with helping people get from one place to another. Forward Steps engages with communities to better understand poverty and works with neighbors who are under-resourced to become self-sufficient by offering a variety of programs to individuals in the community. We provide 4 programs under this umbrella. One is called Getting Ahead in a Just Getting By World. It's a curriculum. We do Staying Ahead. We do a poverty simulation. And then we also do it's called a community food experience. Those last 2 are educational tools that we take to places to help them really understand what it's like to be in poverty and help them really understand a little bit more about what it takes to make a difference. Getting Ahead, which is one of those programs, is a 16-week program that allows participants to analyze and begin to break the cycle of generational poverty. We're trying to get it into all 8 counties. It takes a little bit of effort to get there. We're currently in Delaware and Henry. We're working in Jay, and I think I just found a partner in Madison yesterday. So we are getting there, but our goal in the next 3 years is to get into every county with this program. Forward Steps offers a variety of poverty education programs to better understand the challenges. These are the ones that I told you about just a minute. I didn't know about Can I Move Out? That's different, hard choices. See, she added stuff to my person added stuff to the slide I don't even know about. But here are some other things. Can I Move Out? Hard Choices and Survive. I believe that has to do with kids who are either in high school or in college, and they're looking to make a transition. And so it's a helpful program for that. And then our Forward Steps coaches help address hunger and nutrition disparities and foster self-sufficiency and confidence by working one-on-one with neighbors. We have a Cooking Matters class. We have Thrive Network coaching, and we help people with SNAP. That's the food stamps, application assistance. Last year, we had 3,400 unique volunteers working through Second Harvest, providing 40,000 plus hours of volunteer service. This year, I've already been told it's over 4,000 volunteers. And we always like to show our donation impact. People say, oh, I'll just go to the store, I'll get some food, and I'll take it to my local pantry. That is fine and dandy. But your local pantry can get stuff from us a whole lot cheaper because we can buy it in huge bulk. So that's the difference between $5 at your grocery store and $5 through Second Harvest Network. However, since we took that picture, I'm not sure that $5 would buy a loaf of bread, peanut butter and jelly. I don't think so. Certainly not that size. So unfortunately, it's out of date pretty quickly. And then how you can help. Spread the word. Connect us with partners. Donate and volunteer. So that's my basic little presentation. I'm open for questions. I have lots of other information in my head I can share. And so let me find out if you have one. Oh, here's one right here.
Just a minute, Joanne.
Oh, I wonder if the Manchester location runs out of food before the last cars are served.
Now say that one more time. Say that once more.
Yes. Does the Manchester location ever run out of food before the last cars are served?
No, I've not known that to happen. We are very careful about that. And in fact, I think there's often some left over that they take to the local pantries. Unless you all know about that, and I don't. If you have experienced it and I don't know about it, then I'll get on somebody. But and if you all don't mind, I have come a long way and I'm getting kind of tired. So can I sit down to answer the questions? Is that okay with you all? I'm gonna get a chair.
You mentioned that a measure of food insecurity is not available anymore. Could you say more about that.
Sure, thank you. I was wondering who was going to catch that. Yes, so not too long ago, the administration, the federal administration decided to decided to stop collecting information about food insecurity. They do a household survey usually every year, and like I said, we're two years behind. Feeding America, gratefully, had sort of suspected that this might happen. So for the last several years, they have been working toward trying to come up with a way to do it themselves. And so I think it won't be exactly the same, but I do think we will have a measure of food insecurity in place by the next time we need it. The one from the government would have been released this month, except the government is shut. So we would have the one for, I believe, 2024 would be coming out this time. Or maybe that was 22 and 23 will be coming out. If that happens, we will see, we'll get those numbers, and then the next time we need one, Feeding America will be the one that puts out the information. So thank goodness we're a part of an organization that had some foresight to start doing that. Anybody else have a question? Or just a comment or a thought? You look like you're in deep thought.
Well, I am impressed. I didn't know how much your organization did. And thank you for sharing all of that information. I knew kind of what a food bank is, but your organization goes way beyond just a food bank, although that's important also.
I have two more little facts I can share. One is that I did look this up before I came. We always kind of measure our economic impact. So when you look at the food and the resources that we basically share with the county, we kind of figure out the economic impact, and it was about 1.1 million in 24 in Wabash County. So that's the amount of the economic impact that we added to your county. You're one of the smaller counties, so that it goes all the way up to like 6 and 7 million, depending on what county. Madison and Delaware are our two largest counties, and also the two counties with the highest rate of poverty. It's quite extensive. So that is kind of a scary thought. And I don't remember what the second fact was. It might come to me.
Other thoughts or questions for Rebecca? Or Bekah, sorry.
Yeah, that's
Bekah.
okay. That's all right. As long as you don't call me Becky, my mother didn't like that. She said, no way.
You seem to be versed in about everything, but in your work, and when you look toward the future now, what are the most hopeful things that there'll be a turn of a corner, that there'll be less people with food insecurity?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that. Well, first of all, I want you to know that we are doing a lot of things to look to the future, because we have our strategic planning consultant is on site right now. In fact, I'm not missing anything because she didn't schedule anything for this morning, but we have a strategic planning consultant from California that's on site at Second Harvest in Muncie this week. And so we have been getting a little bit more hopeful this week. So you asked me at the right time. I think one of the things that we are excited about is we're doing what's called a service area assessment. And in that, we're also looking at a food sourcing plan. So we are excited about the possibilities of making sure that we are really getting food to the right places, number one. And that we aren't just sticking with the same locations or whatever because it was easy to stick with it. Number two, we are looking to move more people into those programs that are more hope for tomorrow. You know, how many, the idea that we are going to be putting those Forward Steps programs in all of our counties gives us hope, because we think that that is one of those things that will shorten the line of need. Because what it allows participants to do is, I'm here and I feel stuck and I want to be here, and how do I get from here to here, right? So what's the barrier? And that's what those programs do. Now, it does it 10 or 12 people at a time, so you're not going to see hundreds of people's lives changed. But those 10 people affect 10 people who affect 10 people. And it really makes a difference. And after we have graduated 28 classes, we have seen a huge difference in that program. So I'm hopeful that we have, and by the way, we were able to fund that program from someone who left us a sizable planned gift that we didn't know about. And in her will, she wanted it for Forward Steps. Over the period of time, she had given us $30, and her planned gift was 6 figures. So we didn't expect it, and it was just a gift. And so moving people from one place to another, that's hopeful. Another thing that's hopeful is doing a food sourcing plan so that we can get more people on board in helping us discover more sources for food. There's always going to be a need. What we're hoping is that some folks can help us, you know, shorten that line of need. So we're really excited about the future and about what we can provide. Although there's both, you know, sometimes it gets a little depressing. Are we ever going to get over the hump? You know, are we ever going to get over the hump? But our strategic plan, our service area assessment, our food sourcing plan, those plans are helping me feel like we've got a direction. And that's hopeful. Does that answer your question? Anybody else?
Any other comments or questions? I know, speaking about food all this time, we may be getting sort of close to lunchtime here, but we don't have food insecurity here at Timbercrest, that's for sure. Okay, well, I want to thank you, Bekah, for making the trip, and I'm really sorry about the traffic and
None of
situations.
us could have done anything about it.
And I'm very happy that you persevered and you got here to share all this information with us about Second Harvest. So let's thank her for her presentation. Thank you.
And if you have a private question you want to share with me, I'll be here a little bit. Thank you. You're welcome. Let's see, let me turn this off.